Hello, everybody. Fandom Flux. Okay, I really need to be awake, like 5 seconds earlier. All right.
Come
Hello,
on.
everybody. Welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast episode two, the 12, the 4.
A
You can do
dozen or
it.
so after 200.
You can do it.
Hang on.
Come on.
I have the files from the last 213. That's the one. We're on that. Yeah.
We need to get you some energy drinks like you exclusively use right before recordings.
I
Or cocaine.
can't.
Or cocaine. Where do you buy cocaine in England? I don't know where you get cocaine.
Wherever you buy cocaine anywhere else, usually drug dealers. But
Fantastic.
I mean, there's probably a meth dealer in Bentley. I mean, I wouldn't surprise
We're not getting you meth.
I don't think anyone in this call would be surprised to hear that.
So yeah, energy drinks not really a thing I want to deal with. I haven't actually had any in like a couple of years because it started making me feel not good. So stopped drinking them. That was a thing I had to do. So hi, I'm Casey. How's it going? Nobody.
I don't know. You're talking to us or talking to the people?
Both.
Oh, hi. It's all right. But you're gonna wait a normal introduction to let me say hi.
I thought I'd change it up without telling you because that seemed like a cool and fun thing to do. So, Kenchi's here.
Hi, I'm Kenchi618, and if I throw up on this recording, don't be alarmed. It's just
I feel
part
like
of the
that needs an
process.
explanation.
It's just part of the process.
I don't know what kind of process you're a part of, but I don't believe in that process.
Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes people throw up.
Hi everybody, I'm playing Kirby and it feels fulfilling.
Kirby.
He's a name you should know.
We're not singing that song.
Star of the show.
And Slicer and Zero has pulled away from his mic again, by the way.
Sorry. I'd like to lean back and relax when I'm playing Kirby. Just
Slice is here.
naturally.
Hey, I'm here too.
Oh, we're kind of all over the place today. That's probably my fault. All right. So, Ken, do you want to go first? How you doing, Ken?
Yeah. So, if you're expecting a story about being sick, there is none. I just feel like throwing up right now. So to do that, let's see. Oh, what's my week been like? Well, most recently thing I can think, I had a wrestling show this weekend, and I had a match, and against someone that can't speak English. So that was interesting. Yeah. And I can speak. He was a Mexican fella and a luchador because I wrestled him a lot. Yeah, I can speak Spanish, but conversationally, not. It's not even conversational Spanish. It's like I know enough Spanish to get me thrown into jail or out of jail if need be. But I had to like communicate with this guy for a 15-minute match. A lot smoother than it should have. Like it worked out.
Wow. Awesome.
That may also be a bad thing because they may pair me with more luchadors that can't speak English because I got a good match out of that guy.
That is kind of a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Brush up on that Spanish, I guess.
I guess I have to. I guess this is a good reason to get back into it. I was trying to learn Japanese, but fuck it. Priorities.
I mean, really, you could just drill down and focus on learning, learn all the terminology for luchadors and fuck everything else.
Learn.
That's hard to do for reasons.
That's one of my friends once said. Just learn Japanish. Just both at the same time. You'll get Japanish.
There are like 3 major languages to professional wrestling. There's English, Spanish, and Japanese. I was trying to learn them in that order. And then moved on to trying to learn the basics of Japanese. He beckons. So Spanish it is.
Oh, speaking of Japanish, by the way, I did. I'm gonna really quick gonna do a thing. I did finish watching JoJo Part 3. Yeah, that's finished. So I'm gonna do a spoilery stuff at the end of the episode after the outro. So I'm probably not gonna be nice about it, to be honest, because
You're never really nice about many things. It's not really surprising.
yeah. I was gonna say I know, but yeah, you're right. I'm kind of an asshole, but I really didn't. Anyway, we'll get to it after the thing because it's gonna be spoilery. So, anyway, sorry about that, Ken.
Yeah, it's all good. So, when I get my tax return, anything I should know, assholes who have a Switch?
What do you mean for like a Switch?
For buying a
Yes.
Switch.
Things you should know.
Pro controller, probably.
Yeah, if you have large hands, which you probably have either the same or larger than mine, you're probably going to want a Pro controller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
gonna-
have especially large hands, but the fucking twiddly thing, I forget what they're called.
The Joy-Cons work well
Those.
in handheld mode, but at the same time, you might want to. You're going to probably want to invest in a Pro controller if you mainly play on TV.
It is very cramped, very tiny, not much real estate between buttons and thumbsticks and stuff. It's not great.
My brother got this really nice sort of charging case type thing for me, and I just put it on the back of my Switch, and that can also charge it while I'm on mobile, since I play mobile a lot, and it has a better kickstands rather. It has two instead of just the crappy one they give you.
That's
There
good to know.
There are quite a few third-party support battery devices, honestly. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Get Xenoblade and Breath of the Wild, and then you're good for now. Those are like the only two big games on it.
Bayonetta, Mario Odyssey,
Yeah, there's those.
Golf Story, I can heartily recommend, surprisingly enough.
Goddamn golf story.
It's pretty good. Like, for a shitty little game, it's probably one of those games that's really, really good to play mobile. So
There's a lot of.
I'll have to track that one down because I actually don't. I've never seen that one in the eShop, and I've checked multiple times.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah,
It doesn't have a very outstanding art for it, but I would definitely say just look around because there's tons of indie games on there that are all really good once you actually get it, that aren't too expensive. There's sales. When you buy a game and download it digitally, you get like a small percentage of that back as gold coins, which you can then use to reduce the next cost of your next game by however many coins you have. Like 300 coins would be $3. Though I do want to say you will be limited on hard drive space initially. Nintendo's really good at compressing their game files, so you have 32 gigabytes to start with. That can hold a lot of games. Not Zelda very well, because Zelda's like 13 gig. Which, well, small for an open world game, it's big for the system.
yeah.
So you might want to invest in an SD card down the line. You don't need one right away, but it might be a good idea to think of for the future.
Zero, I'm going to say, I mean this 100% seriously. Stay where you are, don't come back up on your mic, because I have just pumped your volume way the fuck up because you keep leaning back.
I'm sorry. I'm just like what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xenoblade and Zelda are probably the two biggest games on there. Mario Odyssey is also really fun. And if you need any more recommendations, I can be happy to give them later.
Yeah, you see, I saw my friend play Odyssey a little while ago, and I hadn't played a Mario like open world game since like Super Mario 64. It's been that long, children.
Yeah.
Saw it, I was like, this looks like a coked up version of 64. I need this.
Yeah,
No, like
it's really good. Like, I tried playing 64 like about 10 years ago. It felt god awful. This actually feels really good to play. Odyssey does.
Mario Odyssey is basically 64 too. But
Except it plays well.
64 played well for its time. It was one of the first 3D games, so you got to give it that.
I wish I still had Nintendo 64. I could pop in 64 right now and still enjoy it.
Yeah, but you would scream at the camera immediately, is what you would do, though.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
I didn't recommend Mario because I just don't. I don't know. It just lost its wonder, I suppose. I don't really like Mario games.
Well,
I'm not a big fan either, but this one, it's really good. It earned the praise.
Yeah, it's a very fun game, and it just feels very good to move around in that game.
Yeah.
High skill ceiling, too, so if you want to speed run, go right ahead.
I don't do that crap.
The speedrunners have been insane. It's been pretty amazing. So, yeah.
Anything else, Kenchi?
Not really. I've been looking for shows to binge, so if anyone has anything out there that Kenchi needs to watch, throw a recommendation my way, and I will take a look, because I need something. I'm so tired of cable TV.
I mean...
You can always watch Black Mirror.
Yes, just anyone out there in the comments, make a list. Kenchi will read it. I promise. I will probably watch it.
I mean, My Hero Academia comes back in, like, 19 days.
Yeah, but I can't binge that.
No, that's true. I mean, you could binge the first 2 seasons. I did, like, last week, so...
I've already seen the first 2 seasons.
So have I. 3 times. Doesn't matter. It's still great.
You're not helping. All right, that's just about it for me. It's just Kenchi asking for a lot of help for those who are interested in helping the man out.
I mean,
Yes, I just call myself the man. What you gonna do about it?
Nothing, except wonder just what point you are in your life when you can call yourself the man, and just kind of wish that one day I can be the man.
Tell you what, it's not an easy life. Damn it if I don't live it. Some people call themselves the excellence. I live it every day of my life, Zero.
Okay.
I've been... I feel like we just said okay at exactly the same time. Like, there wasn't even any audio difference. It was just, okay. I mean, if you want a show that will really take up a lot of your time, I could recommend Critical Role.
You know
That's
what?
my week.
You know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'll watch Critical fucking Roles, so at least when you start talking about it, I can, not zone out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
I don't
asking for
know.
things to fill time, that is a very good way to fill time.
Fair enough. Because
Depends on what you want to go for. Do you want a funny D&D campaign or do you want a serious one?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well,
It's all good in this hood. Just entertain me or amuse me in some way, shape, or form. That's all I ask.
All right. So that was Ken.
Yep. One down.
I guess I'll go next. Because why not? Because aside from the JoJo thing, my week's probably not going to take that long. So I finally caught up with Critical Role. I was 3 episodes behind. I am no longer behind. I achieved this by playing Stardew Valley and having it playing in the background. Because that's, a really good way to get audio shows out of the way, is just to put on a really straightforward game that you don't actually have to pay attention to the audio for. And yeah, Stardew Valley is basically that. And then I realized, hey, I have this game modded to shit. So I heard there's an update coming. When's that happening? Oh, cool. Like in a couple weeks, probably. That's great. That's just great. So
And this is a game with massive updates that overhaul pretty much everything.
pretty much. I mean, the main thing for it this time is they're adding multiplayer support, which is cool, I guess. For people that would do that, which aren't me. So
Like online multiplayer, or
I'm pretty sure it's online, yeah. And I don't think they're doing couch co-op.
well, I have Stardew Valley.
Does this mean we're going to lose you in a few weeks again?
Me?
Yes. You
Not
lose your
really.
attention span.
Because like I say, my game is modded to shit. Which means if this game updates, I lose basically my entire save. So, yeah, I would have to wait for all of the mods to actually catch up with the update so they all continue to work and hopefully don't corrupt my save. And if that doesn't happen, then I have to start again. Or I have to just keep playing without the update, which I can do by turning off online mode on Steam. So it's actually what I've been doing for the past few days. While I was coming down from watching JoJo, I would play Stardew Valley and feel better about myself and everything I do. Like I said, I'm not going to be nice. I'm not. So... yeah, so I'm all caught up on Critical Role. That's cool. Yeah, still a fun show. Stardew Valley, still a fun game. And I am probably never going to get sick of it, because if I haven't at this point, it's probably not going to happen. What else did I do? Right, I got rid of some big old trash things that needed to be gotten rid of, like an old office chair and an old freezer and my old mattress. Like the council does a pickup service, so you call up, they take your shit away if you put it out front. One of which was an old freezer that was so busted and old and broken, it was actually entirely frozen over on the inside with stuff still in it. So I had a great mystery thing on the Discord of what's in the freezer. It's a mystery, and I was genuinely curious about what was actually. It was nothing. There was nothing in there. I was.
Aw. You know what? I don't believe you. You killed something and put it in there, and you don't want us to know what it is.
There was nothing in there.
But what if there was?
There wasn't. You don't get to mine joy from this, Kenchi. I didn't, so there was nothing in there.
Or like some awesome steaks in there?
No, those are in my good freezer. That's on the other side. Yeah. So that was the thing that was pointless. It was also made me sad. There was another thing that I just thought of that I could talk about, but I've forgotten what it was immediately. So, yeah, I guess... Like I say, I didn't have much, aside from the JoJo thing, which we'll get to, but later, so it's fine. Who else wants to
go? Mine's kind of short, so sure.
Okay.
I beat Breath of the Wild. Pretty good game. That final boss fight sure was easy. Yeah, once you get those ancient beasts, it kills half of Ganon's health at the start of the fight. So,
okay, to put it in comparison, you know the guardians that you had to fight at each divine beast, the bosses of each of those. If you go straight to Ganon, you have to fight all of those one after another, and then fight Ganon at full health.
Oh, wow. Okay then. So it's a
So
good thing I did literally everything before fighting him.
the more prep you do, the easier that fight is.
Which is pretty much how that should probably go. If if the whole thing is, hey, do prep for this massive boss fight at the end of the game, it should probably be a case where, yeah, the more prep you do, the easier the fight is. Rather than, say, for example, giving you an arbitrary number that doesn't actually mean anything and changes the ending cutscene slightly, like, say, gives it a different color.
Yeah, I don't know what game you're talking about, wink wink, but yeah, definitely don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Casey needs to get his digs in.
Well, they're well deserved. Fucking that game.
You don't know that. I don't know what he's talking about.
Sorry, my face is tired, so go ahead.
Aside from that, I bought Xenoblade 2. I haven't played it for any longer than maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah,
The voices are, wow.
they're wonderful, aren't they?
Those are some voices. I'm getting the Japanese pack.
You know what? The voice acting is bad enough that I love it. That's kind of where I'm at.
What's this in, sorry?
Is what?
What's this in, sorry?
Oh, Xenogears 2? Xenoblade? I always mix those two up.
Xenoblade 2. It's Xenoblade 2.
There you go, yeah. I should probably remember Blade because there are blades in the game. Like, that's a big mechanic.
Were there gears in Xenogears too?
Maybe? That one has mechs in it, doesn't it?
I don't know, but, like, there are blades in it is probably not a good... whatever.
Well, no, like, there are, like, we're talking Soul Eater style, they are blades.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
And this
I was interested in the accents of the series. Like, the voice actors have accents that are very pronounced, but the quality of the voice acting is not good. So, that's a real shame.
It's that distracting?
Yes. Just, like, look up random voice clips of things. It's all terrible.
I feel like Rex is the worst of it. The others are fairly decent. Because it's just he has an accent that's not suited for the type of character at all, and that's kind of the main problem with that. It's like, do a big shonen scream. Yeah. It's not good. It's hilarious though. So how else did you find it? For the that you had?
The tutorials are mind-numbing. Hey, here's how to breathe. And then about 2 minutes later, here's how to walk. And here's how to move the camera. It's like, yeah, thanks, I get it. I already figured that out considering I got here.
Yeah. The thing about this game specifically is there are some pretty bad tutorials. It's not as bad as Xenoblade X. It's not as bad as Xenoblade X. And once you master how the combat works, it's actually very fun and it flows really well.
I'm iffy because I don't really like the auto combat style it has going for it. Like, I cannot stand Final Fantasy 15. I hate that game because of the combat.
Like, Slicer, once you actually start getting, like, what's essentially going to start happening is you have arts for each blade that you have. You can equip 3 blades at once. So what you would do is you do art, blade switch, art, blade switch, art, and then by then you have your other arts cooled down and you can keep going and doing more stuff.
Insert Sword Art Online joke.
Yeah.
So you won't be doing much auto combat later on in the game, and you can build your character specifically to lower how much auto combat you do.
Well, that's cool. You'd think I'd like auto combat more considering I like idle games. Like, it's essentially an idle game at that point. You're just waiting for the numbers to go up or down, as it were.
Okay. Scythe has just confirmed that I'm never going to be playing Xenoblade.
It's not that boring. I mean, you are in combat, like, you are hitting things, and there is an element of challenge. Like, you can miss, you can...
Yeah. And positioning is important for certain arts and everything.
Yeah, like this first art you get aside from the main one is like your back attacks are 100% more effective or something like that. But since you're solo at that point, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of an extra hard hit.
Also, Zero, for the love of God, could you stop saying art? Because the first time I said it, it was a joke about the Sword Art Online thing. I can't think about anything else when you term it like that.
They're called arts.
Doesn't matter.
That is what they're called.
And that's not something that's something Sword Art Online ripped off from other games. It's not something Sword Art Online came up with.
Still doesn't matter. It's still all I think of. Because that anime is stupid and gets in your head.
It does do that.
Anyway, I look forward to seeing how you like it 40 hours from now.
Yeah, and I am the type that would when I like a game, I play a lot of it. So who knows?
Yeah, they recently updated it to add New Game Plus. And
yeah, I heard about that. I'm looking forward to it.
And you can get additional blades that you couldn't get through the first playthrough. And those blades are like story characters and stuff.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be playing a lot of that as soon as I have more free time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Oh right. The other thing was I decided to, since I ran out of things to watch effectively, I wanted to get back into Critical Role because it's such a prevalent thing on this channel, basically.
My bad.
And I think it's good.
Also,
I also
Zero's
ran out of
bad.
At the Table to watch, so yeah. Apparently, there's an app called Podbean that Critical Role podcast actually goes through now, and it's actually a really good app. Like it works really well. It seems like it occasionally hiccups and the connection dies or something, which shouldn't happen considering I've downloaded the files. But whatever.
I just used the podcast app on my phone.
Right. Yeah, I don't have one of those. So.
Different phone.
Yep. Yeah, I have a bunch of bloatware that I can't get rid of, so that's fun. But
I know the feeling.
yeah. So yeah, I've been working my way through that. I can get around 2.5 episodes a night, so I'll get caught up next year, maybe.
2.5 episodes a night, by the way, is about 8 hours. Assuming short episodes.
I work for a living, yes. I have a lot of free time to listen to things while I work, since I work night shift and there's no one around.
Yeah, you'll be caught up faster than you know.
Probably, yeah.
And then you'll be sad.
One thing I've noticed at Critical Role, though, why the hell do they have to roll so high for everything? I was watching At the Table, and like 18 is a fantastic roll in
they're
that.
They're higher
series.
levels. Are you talking Campaign 1? They all start at a much higher level.
I know they're like level 12 at this point, or something. I think they mentioned they were.
They
level
start
12.
at 11, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. It's like unlocking a basic lock is like, hey, you got to make 25 DC. It's like what?
Not like the way it goes is at level 11, your proficiency bonus is +4. So, like if you are proficient in something, you add your ability modifier +4.
So basically, Vax, for example, because he's Dex 20, gets +9 on every lockpicking roll, every single one.
And because he's a rogue, he can get expertise to make that go up to a plus.
It doubles the proficiency, so it'd be +13.
+13. So that means he would get a 25 on if you rolled a 12 or higher.
Huh. All right, that makes a little bit more sense.
Whereas opposed to like TFS at the Table, they're all starting at like what, level 2?
I think they started at 3.
3. Their proficiency bonus is like I think 2 at that point.
Like, yeah, they roll high, and some of them like, oh holy shit, Taliesin is blessed by the gods of dice, but some of them genuinely do know pretty much how to play. Like, again, Taliesin is they've called him their ringer before because he knows how to game the system and things like that. So they probably have very well built characters on top of that.
Who does he play?
Percy.
Percy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. The gunslinger that they homebrewed into the game, right?
Yeah, and as somebody who's started running his own campaign, you want to start off a little bit easier for people who are new. The typical sort of difficulty challenging thing works. It's like 10 is medium difficulty, 15 is hard, 20 is very hard, 25 is impossible. Is usually how it's treated.
That makes sense, I suppose.
So that's how I'm basing it off of, and that's how most people do. Matt Mercer has some very talented players who have been playing for a few years now, so it kind of makes sense he's up the difficulty for them.
That makes sense. It was just a little jarring to go from one to the other, basically.
Mid-level play, much different.
Yeah.
And then it does go up to high-level play, where they are basically gods.
We're gods.
In the new series, what level did they start at? Is the same
2.
like 11 or
2?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's a low-level campaign then, long-term.
Reason
Gotcha.
why they started at level 11 was they were doing a home game for 2 years before they started streaming.
Oh, right. That would make sense. Okay.
Yeah. Also, they're doing an interesting thing this time with the second campaign, which is instead of XP, they're just doing level ups narratively. So they finish a storyline or a quest line, and they get a level up, rather than having everyone keep track of XP and such.
I'm actually more familiar with that method of gameplay.
Yeah.
It's not very often people in my area play with monster kill get experience kind of thing, because people like farm XP. Like we had a barbarian that would every night go out into the fields or wherever and just farm rodents.
That's
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like you're just trying to get above the party and game the system. It's like that. It wasn't even in universe. It didn't make sense.
I mean, at that point, it's on the DM to just give him the most bullshit, quote unquote, rodent to have to fight, like the rabid squirrel of demonic, unending torment or something stupid.
If I was DM, I would have rats seek revenge. Like they would start to, like each time you would kill them, some would learn and they'd get stronger and stronger, and then eventually they'd hunt him down.
Well, no, because then he'd be gaining more and more experience. That would be a good thing, not a bad thing.
No,
I mean, sure, it
I'd
would
have the
eventually kill him, but he would be getting what he wanted.
I'd have it in a way that would involve the whole party at least.
That's fair. So yeah, that's effectively my week. I really haven't done much else.
Ditto.
So,
Yay.
I've also been, I have been DMing, so I've been doing some D&D related stuff. Like Slicer was saying, I am using the story progression thing, although it's more. I think I'm going to go with more.
Hello.
What?
He's gone.
Level 3 in the second session,
Hey.
so that I could throw harder things at them. Because I'm scared that I'm going to kill them, but each time I throw stuff at them, they somehow make it seem like it was nothing. Gosh darn it. I have this monster appear, and they take it down to 2 HP in a single turn with one person.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get a big hitter. It happens.
The monk used Flurry of Blows, and one of them was a crit.
That would do it. Yeah. Actually, no, it probably shouldn't. That thing should have had more health.
It had 26 HP. They were level 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds a little on the low side, but definitely manageable.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a big attacker, but Yeah, I have a party of 6 that I'm working with.
Ouch.
So now I'm just going to throw something with a challenge rating of 5 at them next time and see how that goes. Should be fun. Has enough HP to survive at least. And I'm going to drain their resources with more battles. They're going into a dungeon for the first time. Yeah. Like, I've been making it so far, the session has been, oh, fun, look at this crazy setting with all these crazy things. Next session, they get into actual real stuff. Because the farther away they get from this town to go on this quest, the more serious things will get. That's what I'm hoping, at least. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I hope it goes well.
Yeah. It went well last time. Everybody seemed to have fun. But I'm a very different DM from Matthew Mercer. And so I had some people, like one of my friends who I know in real life he's a big fan of Critical Role. And he was like, that session did not go how I was expecting. It's like, what, you weren't expecting the Stump Guardian? Guardian of the Stump? It's like, no, I wasn't. So yeah, fun things. I've also been playing Kirby.
Really? Have you?
Yes, I've been playing Kirby a lot. It's really fun, and it makes me feel happy, and that's nice. I like Kirby. I got the suplex ability, and I never want to leave it, but I know I'll have to at some point. They did a poll before that game came out where you got to vote on a power that you want to return, and I was like, suplex. Give me suplex.
Don't you pander to me.
No, I like suplex ability. That's not pandering, okay? Suplex ability is awesome. You just dash and grab and throw things, and you suplex them, and it's great.
Other people can like wrestling too, Kenchi. It's okay.
Specifically suplex. On another note, my friends have gotten me into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! After over like a decade of not playing online, and so I don't normally play, like, I'm not a big card game guy usually, but the original reason why I learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Was because my friend was good at it and I wanted to beat him at it. So that same kind of spite-filled hatred is what's causing me to build more decks and play people, because I want to win against them in the most despicable ways possible. Which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have made some friendship ruiner decks. It's nice.
Just as long as you don't end up like my brother did, with like thousands of cards strewn across his bed with no place to sleep.
No, we're using an online program. I'm not buying.
I know, just as long as you don't ever go that far or anything comparable to that.
All right. I mean, we all live through Pokemon. No judgments here.
I can judge all I want to.
I wasn't actually a Pokemon fan. I was the Digimon kid. Sorry.
What?
Oh.
Hey, Digimon are cool. Okay.
No, they're not.
How is that possible, Slice?
Pokemon cards weren't really a thing in my neighborhood, so I
I had some Digimon cards.
I mean, Digimon cards weren't either. It was just a show.
Yeah, but there were some Digimon cards.
There were.
I had them mixed up with my Pokemon cards. But I never actually played with the Pokemon cards. I just collected them, and then my sister collected a whole bunch, and she's like, "Here, have mine." I was like, cards. And then I gave those cards away to somebody else because I was like, cards. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really that happened this week. I mean, I'm on spring break officially, but I'm not going anywhere or doing anything except relaxing at home and trying to make sure the house is perfect because my parents are trying to sell the house to get a better house.
Was that your job?
Because my parents went off on their vacation.
I was gonna say because he's a responsible adult, and that's, you know, it's part of, he lives there, it's part of his job too, is to make it not suck at the house. But no. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the responsible adult in the house now, and I have to make dinner for my brother. I don't have to, but I like to. And I'm taking care of the dog and making sure he doesn't die, which is good.
It is good, because that
So
can
far he
happen
hasn't-
if you go
So
away.
far, he hasn't died yet, so
Yeah.
you know.
It's not always a good idea to leave them in the care of, say, for example, your neighbors, because they don't give a shit. Anyway.
Oh, I feel like there's a story there, but I don't want to dig too deep there.
I'm pretty sure I've told it already. I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years. I'm pretty sure I've told it already.
I'm pretty sure you've told it because I am starting to remember it, but at the same time, my memory is absolute garbage. So if I don't remember the specifics, forgive me, senpai. Aside from that, Dragon Ball Super aired their big quote-unquote finale episode.
No, they didn't. That's next week.
It wasn't a finale episode. Episode 130 came out this week.
Yeah, it did. It's not the finale. There's another episode.
Yeah, it's not the finale because there's another episode, and I have some problems with the episode. Like they built it up to be the finale, literally, and then no, still going.
I've been saying it, like, for the past few weeks, because they decided to do an episode break for 2 episodes in a row. So there was 128, and then there was a week off, and then there was 129, and then there was a week off, and 2 weeks is apparently enough time for me to just lose complete investment in anything that's happening in the show.
Episode 130, the greatest showdown of all time, the ultimate survival battle.
God,
Yeah.
I hate Japan episode titles.
Yeah.
I hate Dragon Ball titles, specifically. It was a very pretty episode, but there was some really stupid stuff that happened in it.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm so sorry that I never told you that I went Ultra Instinct. That was a thing that I've been keeping from you for so long.
Hey, Ultra Instinct, it's your fan-made Super Saiyan 5 dreams all come true. The hair is white.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah, it is a shocking white. You're absolutely right.
Dragon Ball.
So, Casey, you're telling me that all this time you had the power to destroy me right in front of my eyes, and I never realized this? Oh no!
Nani? Bakana. Oh.
See, it's funny because Zero is kind of sideways making fun of anime fans that go really too far into it. That's all of us anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh well.
So I'm gonna. There's one thing I just want to point out. Slight spoiler for Dragon Ball Super episode 130. At one point, Jiren decides to attack the audience, and he's not disqualified.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably should be in a tournament this official.
No, because the person who did it last time was disqualified and deleted. So that didn't happen to Jiren.
Plot armor, I guess.
It's you're just breaking your rules left and right, Dragon Ball. Your own rules that you set up.
I mean, in fairness, it's the Omni King that set the rules, and it is canon already that they break the rules and ignore the rules when they think something is cool.
Yeah, but wasn't it the Grand Priest who kind of made that call before?
Doesn't matter if the Omni King says it's cool, then it stays, and they can do whatever the hell they want. That's basically.
There wasn't even a cut to the Omni King saying, "Yeah, it's fine" or anything. the show just ignored that happening, which is the animation in the episode's really cool. The fight's really cool, but it's also really dumb
Yeah.
and somewhat
Like-
pointless.
You know what was really cool when they first unveiled Ultra Instinct? Was the whole uncanny dodging thing that was going on with him just
Yeah.
seeming to sort of be standing there and just out of the way. You remember that?
Hmm.
Where did that go? Because he's not doing that anymore. It's just like a regular fight.
Oh, well, it's causing him to dodge without thinking, and now he can also fight without thinking. So now it's just a form. That's it.
Yeah.
Has nothing special about it.
Yep.
Except for the fact that now it apparently, like, oh, hey, it's a god form, you're immortal. There's going to be some blowback from that. So we can extend the series a little bit more.
Got to get that Goku fix in.
Also,
Everyone knows.
thing I'm not going to spoil, but the twist in it really pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And it's like, it's not like the way it was revealed, I think, is the worst part.
It was entirely pointless. There was no reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might give us one in the next episode. I don't have high expectations for them doing so, but yeah, there was no reason to do that at
Yep.
all. Kind of undermines one of the cooler things that happened in this tournament. So, yeah.
It's unfortunate. That's the only anime I've been watching recently. And also, Critical Role is season 2 or campaign 2. Still very good. You caught up on it, right, Casey?
Yes, I did.
Boy, they sure are a fun group. Very different chemistry.
Yeah.
Big fan of Knot and Bo.
In a weird sort of way, like, I don't actually like Caleb, but because that's the point, it's actually really impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I've seen people on the Reddit for Critical Role analyze his character, and it's like, oh, here's why he's doing this, and it makes sense for him, but
yeah,
it's
it's
impressive.
like they're doing him as a socially awkward character, but actually making him socially awkward and not just shy and
Yeah.
bleh.
Like, Keyleth was supposed to be socially awkward in campaign 1. Caleb is socially awkward.
Yeah, just not telling people things because he thinks they should be obvious, and then people get mad at him and he doesn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a lot of little details that actual socially awkward people do and can relate to. Like people that might be watching the show, for example. And yeah, it feels real. So good job, Liam. Good job with the character.
I don't think there's a single character I dislike. Like you mentioned Caleb disliking him, but it's okay to dislike him because that's the point. There's nobody I actually dislike. Like that's a bad character.
No one has changed the channel heat with you, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of a thing in the first campaign for bits and pieces of it. Just there were moments. But this time, not so much, not so far. In fairness, it's like 10 episodes in, so that's not much. And it was like 30-something before I started hating certain characters in the first campaign. So,
Yeah, but by the end of it, I didn't hate them. I guess. But we'll see how it goes. I'm liking where it's going, and I can kind of see the direction Matthew Mercer wants to pull this campaign to be a lot more, I feel, politically like intrigue and stuff going on. There's a lot. There seems like a lot of that with the whole empire and what's going on there. So we'll see how that proceeds.
Yeah.
And that's about it from my week that I can think of.
Well, that seems to have actually taken up 50 minutes. Well done us. We actually covered it pretty well. We've still got stuff to talk about that I can't talk about until after we've done the outro. So, is there anything else last minute? I didn't remember what I was going to talk about, so I'm lame.
Something fun. I have something that finally happened at work.
Okay.
I have.
Is it good?
Well, sort of. I can't see it as a bad thing because it's a long time coming. But I have to wear collared shirts at work. Well, I don't have to, but I prefer to because I've come to really enjoy the chest pocket because I can keep my phone in it. Because like if I went out to YouTube, I can't turn off the phone with the audio. It just shuts off. So I have to keep it on, and I can't put it in my pocket, otherwise it'll pause the video and all that kind of stuff. So if I have to, bend down to get something off the floor, my phone falls out of my shirt pocket. It finally cracked. I drop my phone like 4 or 5 times a week, and it finally cracked.
You have an interesting definition of good.
Yeah, it's not... it's a long time coming, so I can't really see it as a bad thing, and it's still functional. Like, the screen is not... No part of it is not touchable anymore, so... Yeah. So, yeah, that happened.
Sure.
All right.
Hooray for cracked screens, I guess.
Anyway, Casey, you had something?
Yeah. Rooster Teeth started a new show. It's called Nomad of Nowhere.
Oh.
It is pretty good. Like, I watched the first episode of it. It is kind of, it's a little bit Trigon, because the plot is basically, there are people that are hunting this dude that, they're portraying he's a piece of shit and he's an asshole. And it turns out, no, he's not really. He's just kind of a nice guy and he's misunderstood. And that's Trigon, and it's a Western.
Yeah,
I
can see the Trigon there. Yeah.
Trigon. But the animation style is... I want to say a little like Samurai Jack. Like, from what I've seen of that show, it's a little like that. But, on a Rooster Teeth budget.
Ooh, okay.
So, it's not going to wow anyone, but it has that kind of style underpinning it. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of cutesy, but that's not a bad thing. I like the Nomad's powers are basically to animate inanimate objects, so they come to life, and therefore he has literal pet rocks that have adorable little eyes on them. That
I'm just not googly eyes, considering who's making this.
Yeah, they're pretty much googly eyes, more or less. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Now that you said that, I have to say something. All right, so when I was a kid, there used to be a thing. Rocks with googly eyes on them. It used to be a legit thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
I mean, they might make a resurgence. I'm sure the Rooster Teeth store is going to have rocks with fucking googly eyes in them as Nomad merch. That's going to be a thing that happens. It's not even in question.
This actually reminds me of the stand in Part 5, Gold Experience, in which whatever this thing, like, its fist touches, turns into a living organism. So, like, it can turn anything into, like, an animal or a plant if it punches it. Inorganic objects, that is.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good show so far. I mean, it's an episode in. So that's...
Yay.
I mean, it's got maybe 12 before things happen that make it not so... Anyway, not to get down on things before they've really deserved it. I'll be optimistic for this one. There have been some stinkers, but this one has not shown any of those qualities so far, so I'm going to be optimistic. It's a novel experience for me. I don't know if I'm very good at it yet, but we'll see how it goes. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So, would you want to do recommendations?
I don't have any recommendations. This week I'm going to blame it on something. Because you see, this weekend, Saturday specifically, fanfiction.net was down.
It was.
It was.
I couldn't read anything Saturday, so I'm blaming that entirely on me not having a recommendation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a pain in the ass because I got like 3 story updates from people somehow, despite fanfiction being down. And I couldn't read any of them because fanfiction was down. I don't know how they did that, but well,
I couldn't even write anything that day because I couldn't read back my own shit to like check things over, like my old chapters. So I couldn't even check anything. So
yeah, it is weird how it's easier to just read it back on the website than it is to just look at your own goddamn documents that are on your computer.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
So yeah, no recommendations from Kenchi, and that's why. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Anyone else?
No, I just haven't really read anything this week. I think I read one thing, was like a Shiro One Punch Man, or Fate Stay Night One Punch Man crossover, which was exactly how you would expect it to go. I mean, it was a one-shot played for humor, so yeah.
Zero, you got anything?
The one time I did try to go to on fanfiction was also on Saturday when it was down. Legitimately. And then the entirety of this previous week was me trying to get in all my projects in before break. So yeah.
Alright, well, I've got a recommendation. It's not necessarily a great recommendation, but it made me feel nostalgic. So, the story is called New Game Plus Sucker by Signless Acolyte. It is a Persona 5 story where it gets to the end of the game, basically, and the cast lose, and time travel back to the beginning. New Game Plus, get it? And yeah, this reminds me so much of me back in the day. It's uncanny.
Link that to us.
I should really actually finish Persona 5.
In a good way or a bad way?
Both. I mean, I turned out okay, right? So.
I mean, okay is subjective, but sure.
I mean,
exactly. That's why it's good and bad. Yeah. So it's only 2 chapters in. This was the thing I kind of wanted to recommend last week, but I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It's all right. But, it's all right in the way of, hey, this guy's first thing that he's written. There's a thing in like 2013, but it is like a one shot. So, yeah. For a first go, it's not bad. Kind of like mine was way back in the day.
Or like mine was way back in the day.
Don't bullshit. Your first show was fucking awful by your own admission. You deleted it, and we can't find it anywhere.
I'm talking about my actual first one I didn't delete.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Fucking
screw
bullshit
you.
Artist.
That's right. That's right. I'm the scumbag.
As long as you're admitting it.
You're the born-again Christian of the fanfiction community.
I am a Christian. Thank you very much.
Alright. So yeah, that was my recommendation and such. yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's very, very alien, but it reminded me so much of myself in 2010 that I had to give it a shout out. Yeah,
I'm just going to assume it has massive Persona 5 spoilers in Chapter 1.
yes.
Yeah, I have to steer clear then, as much as that interests me.
It's a good game. You should probably finish it.
Yeah, I probably should.
You won't.
I might, actually.
It took me a year, so, you know.
Yeah, and I'm still don't know what your goddamn problem.
Shut up, Kenchi. So, I guess I won't do the outro, and I'll say, like, you know how the outro goes, and apparently people just fucking skip it, even though we end up doing skits usually halfway through it, but I guess we won't this time, and we'll just... JoJo. Shit. JoJo.
Alright. I'm here.
JoJo.
No.
Okay.
So...
You don't get to do that because you're going to shit on this season, so.
Hey, the one that was like, JoJo! I like that one. That was fine. The Phantom Blood one? That was okay. Visually, it was interesting. Storyline-wise, after episode 3, not so much. But, yeah. And the battle tendency was great. Like, legitimately great. Still had the great art style, had the great plot, and the characters were more interesting and engaging and everything. And the fights were cool. And then it ended. And it had a very satisfying ending. And it was cool. And the cast member that died got a funeral. And then Stardust Crusaders happened. And
Yep.
man, I hated the first half because, wow, it was just Monster of the Week, basically, with stands.
I have some friends who really dearly love Part 3, and they've explained their reasons to me why. I think it's just nostalgia. I really do. Because you go through the first half of Part 3, and it's literally Monster of the Week. I had to force myself through it.
You can very much tell this was a story that was written week to week, which it was. This was 1987, I want to say, is when Stardust Crusaders started. And that was while it was still in weekly serialization in Jump. And it suffers for that because he had the... What's his name? Ariaki or something? Araki. Yeah. He had this cool idea for powers, which was stands, which at the time was probably really novel. It's like a little... It's a person-shaped thing, usually, that, you know, has a specific power and exists aside from you, like, beside you. And if it gets hurt, then you get hurt. And that... Yeah. It was a fairly novel concept. And he then proceeds to have a Monster of the Week thing where they get basically your standard superpowers. More or less. And... fine. The concept's interesting for the powers. The fights could be interesting if they mattered in the slightest. And the characters' struggles against them could be interesting if there were characters. After watching the entire show, I have a suspicion that you could swap all of the characters' lines around, like between the main 5 people, and you wouldn't really notice that much of a difference.
Yeah, that's... Like, Joestar still, he's there. He still has some of his old flair a little bit, but for the most part, he's used to explain things, and everybody's used to explain things, because this was the first introduction to stands, and Araki really didn't know how to do it. Because this came out, like, started in 1989, the original manga. And it ran until about 92. I like to compare it to part one because it's a lot of I'm going to introduce this new concepts and everything, and I'm going to try to develop it, but I won't exactly know what it is until I make another part that features the concept. Like with Haman in part one, didn't actually really have an idea of what that was until part two. And part three stands. I don't think he fully realized the potential they had until part four.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but here's the thing. Part one, before Hammond was even mentioned, he did a really good job writing characters and developing them in interesting ways. And then as soon as Hammond came up, all of that fell to the wayside. No one got character development, no one got character progression. It was just, here's a new way to use this thing that I came up with. Most of them being an asshole because it was Hammond and that's how that worked. And you see the same thing in this with the stands, only they introduce stands the first thing in the show. So you don't get any character development. All of the characters remain stock templates from the beginning to the end of the show. So all these interesting powers and scenarios that they get into would be interesting if there were interesting characters to hang them off of. Like, I don't think it's a secret that I hold character as probably the highest aspect of writing a story. You need good characters for it. That's my opinion. Just putting that out there. But yeah, there was nothing to hang on this show, this scenario to. It was just one po-faced looking dude just going yada yada daze every time anything happened ever. And there was a dude that was maybe slightly more angry and impulsive than the others, and there was a dude that was just kind of a nice guy, and there was a dude that was a dude and didn't really get any characterization whatsoever and died twice in the show. And there was a dude that was a character from a previous show that already had characterization, and they basically ignored that characterization for most of this show for some reason.
Yes.
So,
like what I was trying to get to is that the idea of like stands connecting, like, you know, Persona is it's a lot of people say, oh, Persona is very heavily influenced by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. A lot of Japanese culture is very heavily influenced by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The idea of the stand existing and connecting to the stand user because of something in related to, say, the stand user's personality, that idea doesn't come along in this season at all because stands are just introduced.
no, it doesn't.
And as a result, you end up with Jotaro, who's clearly a reaction to what I think is the idea of, like, the common idea at the time, like 90s, like early 90s idea of what a badass main character is. And then you have, you know, your comic relief, because of course you need one. And you don't want to... I think it's also the problem of Jotaro was introduced, and you know what his stand can do? These stands which have all these weird and strange powers, his stand can punch.
Yeah, he gets the Superman package. That's what he gets.
That's it. And I think Araki really kind of wrote himself into a corner right away with that. And so you end up with, oh, here are all these unique things that I'm creating, but my main character can't actually fight them.
Yeah. You know what was interesting about Star Platinum? The punching things, who fucking cares? But the really, really precise movements, there was a lot of things he could have done with that every now and again he would do. Like, I'm going to jump ahead to the very final finale where, or just like right at the beginning of the fucking show, where he catches bullets. before they can
Yes.
hit him. Even when he's got the gun to his head, it will catch the bullet before it can penetrate anything.
That idea was not in Rocky's head when he Star Platinum. He had to add that in to make Star Platinum actually be able to do things.
Yeah, and then he would do things like that, and then there was the pumping his heart to stop it from beating, and then later doing it again to start someone's heart, and all that sort of thing was interesting. And there are things you can do with that just on its own. And
Yeah.
punch, order, you fucking, I don't... The meme really fucking ruined that for me. If that was ever going to be cool, it stopped being cool as soon as I heard it 1,000 fucking times on the internet. Anyway. That was entirely unnecessary as part of the character. If you want the dude to punch things, it would have been fine to just have Jotaro himself punch things, because apparently he's made like a fucking tank. So that could have worked, as just have him as that power, as just punching things, and then have his stand do the precise movements, and that's what his stand does. But I'm getting a little off track.
Yeah. I would say it's kind of a stark contrast for me between part 3 and part 4, because part 4, the cast, is what I love the most about that part, particularly. It has one of the best ensemble casts of all the parts. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Like, really just strong all around. It's also when you get to see a lot of the design changes, so everybody stops being super bulky and they start being actually normal sized.
Mm-hmm.
I
could take or leave that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not overly fussed about that. But,
And yeah, I really hope you enjoy part 4, because you'll see a lot of, like, there's some similarities to Persona 4 that can be drawn. Part 4 has arguably one of the best villains, as opposed to just, let's bring back Dio, because he was popular, and people complained about him not being in there in part 2, I'm guessing.
So, yeah. 90% of those stands that they fight are entirely pointless. Don't contribute anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could get away with maybe 6 of just straight up enemies, and that's it. I don't know why, but Derby 2, Derby Harder, was quite possibly the worst thing in this entire show. And by this entire show, I mean parts 1 through 3, all of it. Just, it was god-awful. Because, 1, it came 2 episodes after Derby 1.
Yeah, which
2,
is pretty
it did
good.
exactly the same thing as Derby 1. Almost note for note. 3, it was straight up fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like,
I always forget Derby 2 existed. Like, that's the one I always forget, because it really doesn't do much or contribute much at all.
and it's 3 episodes long for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is in the original manga, but it can't be that long.
Yeah, for some reason, that particular mini arc got an extra episode compared to every other stand. I don't understand why. Understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was the one where Polnareff gets turned into a baby and molests a woman.
Not a baby, but yeah, he gets turned into a kid, and it's weird.
Yeah. And he spends an episode and a half buck-ass naked. And yeah, I know Japan are kind of cool with that. Just have baby penis all over the place. It's fine. No one cares. It doesn't translate. So Yeah, that was really uncomfortable for me to watch. It was really uncomfortable for me to watch an 8-year-old molesting an adult woman. I did not need to see any of that. But I should probably stop complaining about all the stands just that are just inconsequential, because I pretty much they're inconsequential. They didn't need to be there, and that's pretty much all you really need to say about them.
Mm-hmm.
Dio.
Mm-hmm.
All I had to do was say the name, and I've already got the song stuck in my head. So, when they finally get to the mansion, ignoring the Derby shit, it actually managed to bring up some tension for the characters that I don't actually care about.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. Polnareff got a couple moments with the judgment thing and bringing back his sister. That was cool. Good job on that. But aside from that, I didn't really care about the character. I definitely didn't care about the fucking dog. But that whole sequence with the disintegrating dude, that was genuinely tense. And that was very well done. And then they decided to do a little skit in the middle of that with a completely pointless character that was completely pointless and redundant. Did you get it? Because I said it was pointless twice. And yeah, I don't even know why that happened. Like the little vampire dude that has two faces and just...
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they fight the disintegrating dude and win. Yeah, I've already forgotten. But yeah, they win. And then it cuts away to Joseph and Jotaro, and they're looking at this dude that's pretending to be a woman that's one of Dio's victims or something. And they're like, immediately, no. And it's, I'm a vampire, and I'm weak and pointless. Show us to Dio. And he's like, okay, if you insist. And it's played for laughs. After a character just died.
Yeah.
And all the tension was ratcheting up because they're finally at the main base, and some of them are very injured, and some of them are dead. And it just kills the tension for no reason. I don't understand why.
I think maybe it was, oh, we gotta lighten this up, but that was really poorly timed. And I don't know what the pacing is in the manga, but people who make the anime, that's on you. You could have totally moved that to somewhere else.
Yeah. And okay, now we're actually getting to Dio. That was actually pretty well handled. Is Dio's introduction to the main characters and subsequent fight with the main characters, where he is just so incomprehensible to the entire cast that they just fucking run. That was pretty cool and well handled. And
imagine first seeing this without knowing what Dio's stand is beforehand.
Yeah.
Without all the memes or anything, because I feel like the memes really ruined Part 3 in a lot of ways, just by virtue of spoilers. And so having that just something happen, you're like, okay, what is his ability? I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, you just immediately stop and go, okay, wait, what? Just complete befuddlement because you have no idea what just happened. And he's just standing up there looking smug. That was, fantastically handled. And then another character dies because, the character I actually like can't survive the show, obviously.
Oh, Kakyon.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. For what little characterization he was given.
Yeah, I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I say, they're not given much, but sometimes it works, kind of.
Mhm.
And then, figuring out the stand that's also well handled and all that stuff. And then we have the fight with Jotaro. And again, lots of cool stuff using stands and things. What I kind of had a problem with was the whole, hey, Jotaro can also do the time stop thing. And
Yes.
Jotaro can also move in stopped time for reasons.
Yeah. That is the main, like, I didn't feel good about that when I first watched this part, because I was like, that feels undeserved or unearned. That just feels like an ass pull.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the definition of an ass pull. Okay, I don't know how he could actually win this fight, so he can do the same thing.
Hey, guess what? When Jotaro appears in other parts, that's basically all his stand will be known for now. Is doing the thing that Dio's did. It's like with Goku and the Kamehameha.
So, yeah, that made for a very unsatisfying ending. Why did he go and fetch a steamroller again? Why did it matter to Jotaro, who has been hit by a car and walked away basically unscathed?
Look, man, I don't know. Okay, I honestly don't know. It's something special, all right.
Yeah. And then they bring back Joseph, which I appreciate because he was the only character I liked, and that is only character I genuinely liked because he had a character, which is entirely because of part 2 and has nothing to do with part 3 whatsoever. So it's nice that he survived, I guess. And
He'll be in part 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
He'll be really old though, so like,
Yeah.
really old.
So that's pretty much where the show ends. Everyone's like fine, and Polnareff's going back to France, and Jotaro and Joseph go back to Japan, and Kakyo and Abdul and I guess Iggy don't actually get funerals, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a funeral in part 2 for a character that didn't actually die, but the ones that do in part 3 don't get nothing. That's okay. I guess those characters really didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, part 4 has some well-developed characters.
At the very least, part 3 is fucking over.
Yeah, part 4 has some well-developed characters. The stand of the main character, which, the JoJo of the series at least, it's arguable whether or not he's the actual main character. His stand is that he can heal things. And not just like heal people, but actual objects and put them back together. And that's used very creatively, because that has a lot of potential for things.
So, yeah, I got my ranty rant on there.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. I like to think it's usually deserved. I'm pretty sure it was here. Even if it's gonna make some people angry, which it will.
Some people will be upset. Again, part 3 is not my favorite by any means. I personally am a big fan of part 4 and part 7 and part 2. 5 is okay. 6 is... I'm okay with 6 now. And then 8 is just weird. I don't know how to describe 8. But,
Anyone else
we'll
want to
see
chime in? Because, I probably should have said, hey, if you don't want spoilers for part 3, you should probably bail. But, I think it was implied.
I don't watch JoJo, so none of that made any sense to me.
I don't feel strongly about the show, so listening to you is just funny.
All right. So yeah, I wish that had been better. To be honest, after finishing it, I kind of just wanted to go back and watch Battle Tendency again.
You can.
I can.
It's still good. It's
Yeah.
still good. But try to watch part 4. Just at least a little bit, and let me know
How
You
many
feel about
episodes
it.
is part 4? I
It's
feel
not
like it
as
was a
long as-
lot.
I don't think it's as long as part 3.
I mean, part 3 was 50 episodes. So.
Yeah, I think it's half that length.
It is 39 episodes.
Oh, okay, no. It was longer than I thought. Sorry.
Yeah.
Still, there's no part that I would say, oh, hey, this is all just Monster of the Week. Like, it has this, it's more, there's a slightly more slice of life element to part 4, but there is a central plot that will get introduced. It just takes its time introducing it so you get to know the characters, unlike part 3. Where it was like, oh, let's all go after Dio, and yeah, no.
Okay. So, safe to say, that's an episode of the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 213.
To
13.
JoJo. That's what this episode is.
I was being dramatic. That's my excuse. So if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel through the comments. Feel free to tell me how much you hate me for not liking Stardust Crusaders. It sucks. Bring it. We also have a Discord that's public, unfortunately, so you can join that and tell me how much you fucking hate me for hating Stardust Crusaders all day, every day, until Zero probably bans you. I hope he does that at some point if someone just gets kind of shitty about it.
There is a ban button, so it's nice.
Yeah. So don't be too much of an asshole. I know I really ragged on the show. I still think it deserved it, but you know, if you got some things to say, you can say them, but don't be an asshole about it.
I don't think we've ever had to ban anyone, have we? We've had a pretty
No.
peaceful group.
No.
Yeah.
And this is the internet. This is the internet, so it's just a matter of time.
It'll happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if this caused it, but, you know, I don't think we have a big enough circulation to actually get in the heads of the JoJo fans base and such. Please do it on my Patreon if you feel so inclined. It's cool. It's not handled by me anymore, it's handled by Zero, so if you got problems, go to him.
Yay.
He'll help.
Probably.
And by he'll help, I mean he'll ask me what the hell any of this stuff means, and I will help him help. Probably. That's how it's
Yay.
gonna go. Once again, thanks for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 213. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Sorry, not sorry, JoJo fans.
See ya.